Hey, so I was online the other day looking at my old Wartoon site, and I saw that they had released this new game called Dragon Awaken. And having a lot of experience with some of these browser games, and knowing how difficult it is to get some good information from YouTube, I decided to make a starter video series going over kind of the first 7 days of what you should do in this new game and kind of how to spend your efforts and what to focus on to give yourself the best chance at winning some of the early rewards and kind of growing your BR as much as possible. First of all, this game is a lot like Wartoon. It's basically a reskin. They took elements from League of Angels and Tynon and smashed it into Wartoon, and this is what you got. There's this dragon system in place, which kind of replaces your sylphs, and then you have multiple heroes, um, and you can gear out each of those heroes with astrals. Um, you don't equip gear to them like you would in League of Angels, but you do put astrals on them, upgrade them, evolve them. So, and then you have a lot of different side equipments that your main character equips. So you have your dragon. Like I said, this is very similar to the Sylph. It evolves at 40 and then again at 80. It gets exponentially more difficult to level up. Then you have obviously your blacksmith, which is where you will do your enhancements. This is one of the best enhancement systems I've seen in games like this. Um, Enhancing stones are really easy to come by. You can just auto enhance and it just kind of goes through and applies it up until about level 50 on each piece of equipment. It takes one enhancement stone for each piece. Um, Getting level 50, depending on whether or not you're a spender, is actually very easy. And it's one of the things that a lot of people overlook. This is one of the worst gem socketing systems I've seen in any of these games. It goes up very drastically. By the time you get to this fifth slot, it's 50 gem drills to unlock that slot, and where it's 100 amber for 5, it's 1,000 for 50. So, and that is about the best way to get gem drills, unless you just want to take ages going through other methods. So your first day when you get into the game, um, if you are going to spend anything, uh, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to buy VIP. Obviously, it's going to give you an experience boost, and basically the largest amount of benefits per dollar spent in any of these games always comes from the VIP bundle. It's $5, lasts a month, gives you the most benefits. Gives you an auto skip feature for your questing, gives you extra experience, gives you a couple of VIP rewards. Beyond that, if you do want to spend, a lot of people make the initial mistake where they go all out day one. They come in here and they decide they want to spend 100 or 200 or $300, and they dump it into the game, buy everything out day one, and find themselves in a situation where they have an early advantage, but they're going to quickly be passed by someone who's optimizing for the event structure. So if you look here, there is a consecutive recharge. This is one of the best rewards available, and for dollar spent, it is $50 over 5 days, and it's a better reward than the $100 reward is in the first place. So right off the bat, if you were going to go $50 into the game or $100 into the game, you are much better off just doing $10 per day for 5 days and hitting this. You're going to walk away with this Lava Dragon mount, which is a decently strong mount and will really help your BR. And you're going to walk away with a lot of basic EXP fairies, which you can collect experience in, and then use later and multiply with additional amber, or you can just get what they collected. Then you're going to get 50 of these advanced summoning cards, which are going to give you a lot of essence. Essence is how you recruit your heroes. You come in here, you get these normal draws throughout the day. Never spend your gold on normal draws. You get a lot of these, and it just doesn't make any sense to spend your gold on any of the normal essence. You recruit, they have the chance of being double 4 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times. And you can't do a collection of 10 on the advanced draw. So you have to do them each one at a time if you are using the cards. Then when you do click recruit, you have these heroes available to you. These are unlocked based on how far you've passed through your hero dungeon. Pretty quickly you're going to be able to get to the point where you can clear hero dungeon up to 16, 17, 18. The Void Prophet is one of the first offensive units you're going to want. You don't want to waste a lot of your essence picking up these units down here, because you're just going to get past them very quickly, and the units that you get for free are pretty good. Just going through the tutorial, you're going to walk away with these 3 units. The Enchantress is a fairly good healer early on. The Heavy Cavalryman is a pretty good tank early on. You can sit on that, and debatably the Imperial Soldier. He has some pretty good skills and pretty good stats, so picking him up might not be a bad idea, but just running with the Dronda and down until you can pick up the Void Prophet is not a bad idea. Depending on what VIP you're going to go to and how much you're going to spend, you may get the Light Summoner for free. On the left here, when you first start the game, there's going to be the Stage 1, and it's for your Fire Dragon. Then you're going to have the second 8 quest build up, and that's going to be for your wings, and then you're going to have this third one. And this third one is going to be for a 3-star healer, Amaranth, which is a pretty good starter healer for your team. You can also choose to go with Mabeth or the Void Prophet if you haven't gotten that far yet in the game. Healing is not as good as it seems. The damage calculations are just, they're typically going to be too high for healing to really make a difference in most of the games. So I've seen a lot of people just skip getting a healer and just running 4 DPS with a tankier DPS in the front line with your tank, and then 3 DPS on the back line. So wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea to skip Amaranth for Void Prophet, or Mabeth if you've already bought Void Prophet. Any of these heroes all cost 1,000 essence when you do ultimately unlock them. If you as you level up, you're going to unlock different things. On day 1, if you click up here on the new server goals, for day 1 of a new server, what you're going to see is basically a list of quests and achievements that are all focused on what that day's ranking contest is going to be over. So today is a bunch of Mount Stones. And if I click on the new server ranking, you can see that the contest is Mount BR. So based on what your Mount BR is, you're going to receive a reward up to first place, which would be a legendary faith armor, 8 king's tokens, a level 10 attack gem, and 300 of these light of hopes. All of these items are really good. The title is completely one of a kind. You can only get it through winning this event. There is a restriction on this event. You have to have a Mount BR of 150,000 or more. So if you see here on the server that I am on, I have a Mount BR that is 6th place, 73,875. There are 5 people ahead of me, except for one of them is the vacant because nobody has the required 150,000 BR to win this event first. So these two people, if the day were to end today, would get second and third, and they would get this one. If you are going to spend, getting in the top for these rewards every day is really good, because what you want to aim for is this: the 35 King's Token Void Sorcerer card. The Void Sorcerer is one of the best endgame units in the game. She is used in all your high level PvP. Um, and she's really good for PvE as well, due to her AoE and her silence capabilities. So getting 35 of these King's tokens, really important if you want to get this Void Sorceress card. To do that, you have to win 2 of these days and place second or third on the rest. So you have to get 35 of these tokens. That'll give you 36 with what I just said. You can also win all the way out. Even if you do that and win every single day, I do not recommend getting the chosen one. Still recommend getting the Void Sorceress, because this is the only guaranteed way that I mean, she can always pop up in other events, but this is a guaranteed way to get her. And so making sure you do that is important. Now, what you want to do is basically focus on everything that you have, all your optional rewards, all your quests. Just kind of focus on making sure you get your mount stones and your mount souls, and then you're going to want to just level up your mount. Again, if you're VIP, that's going to really help. And if you recharge a small amount, I recharged $10 just to kind of show the process here. You're going to get a mount for that, but you want to make sure you level evenly. Make sure your stars, because you're trying to get the BR up. You're not necessarily trying to stat yourself the best for PvP or anything. You're just trying to get this up as high as possible so that you can get higher mount BR. It's really unlikely that I am going to be able to get to 150,000 without some sort of big financial spend on a day, just because a lot of those mount stones are in these different packages. However, if you do ultimately end up spending more than $10, the first thing you want to look for are these VIP speed up packs. These are always discounted better than most other things. They're displayed very poorly. So where it says 40% off, what it's actually saying here is it's 40% of the price. This Phantom Manta, a 2000 Amber mount, not a bad price. The 1500 for 300 mount stones, pretty good price. The 50 for 300 Amber is probably the worst package here. The other package that you can see is in events. If you go to discount packs, you can look in there and you can see a bunch of different packs. These are your daily purchase options. Going through here, if you were to be going after bigger spend, trying to win the server, things like that, purchasing all 3 of these mounts is not a bad idea. Even though you're going to get one, getting a second will allow you to level it up and double the BR that it contributes. Picking up the Lava Walker, not a bad idea. Anytime you can get definitive BR for purchase, like a mount, is definitely not a bad idea. Picking up the Adventure Alpaca, if you have the diamonds, also not a bad idea. The only way you are likely to get that many diamonds on day 1 is if you do spend enough to roll this 30 times, which is your daily limit. In order to do that, I believe you need to spend $60 on the day. Also, if you look in here on the day's event, you'll see every day at midnight, this is going to reset with different rewards. This event has 15, 30, 50, 100, 150, 200, and $300 spends, recharges. In later days, this event will have equipment that will... Oh, no, not this one. This is for spending your amber. The Actually, it doesn't look like it showed up yet. So, oh no, it's the first one. Okay, so this one, every day you see there's 5, 10, 20, 40, 100, and 200. Highly recommend never, no matter what you're going for, overspending this amount in a given day. This is the maximum kind of collective rewards that you can get for your money, and you always want to make sure that your money is doing as much for you as possible. Um, Otherwise, it's just massively diminishing returns. And um, the main server I play, the guy who was number one for the first 5 days was only the highest BR because I held back a little bit out of kind of courtesy, and ultimately he's spent more, or at least as much, and he fell way behind because he spent on day 1 and 2 only, and he overspent this limit. And I consistently stayed under, and I never even went to the 200 a day. That was just way too rich for my blood, but I consistently stayed under. I made sure to stick to the consecutive recharge, so I never allowed a day to lapse in between to make sure I got this full benefit. And I made sure that I hit each of the rewards and allowed them to compound on each other, which left me with a lot more resources than what he had. It gave me this reward daily, which, as you can see, these add up. If he, say, came in and spent $500 on day 1, he got all this once. If I came in and spent 100 5 days in a row, I would have received this, and then the next day I would have received all of this again, and plus the item changes every day at midnight, and then that would have happened 5 days in a row, and I would have gotten the reward. It's not Mount Souls or Mount Stones every time. It changes based on the day's reward. Sometimes it's the wing item, sometimes it's the relic item, so it depends. It's the hero upgrade stones, plus I get all these hammers. The hammers can be exchanged for the egg smash, which gives you all these. So best thing to do every single time is to be patient as you're approaching this. Um, so your focus for day 1 basically is going to be coming in here, getting familiar with the game, looking at the new server goal, making sure you collect as many of these mount stones as possible. To do that, make sure you do your trials, your mount trial, your normal trial, your mount trial for the stones. Make sure you do all your trials, make sure you hit your normal dungeons, do your quests as you level up, and don't forget to do your multiplayer dungeons. Your goal is to get as much level as you can on day 1, and ignore, you don't need to focus. Like, you can see here that I could increase my BR a lot more by leveling up my dragon, which there's nothing wrong with doing that. One of the days is going to be dragon strength, but it's not my focus for the day. Same with my personal BR, my hero BR. These are all different days where that will be the event for the day. But my focus today is just on the mount, getting it as high as possible so that in the new server ranking I can get a decent rank so I can get some of these rewards. Once I get these rewards, if I can push into second or third, that would be great, because you basically double up your king's tokens and your attack gem and your light of hope, and you can turn these light of hopes in for a mount or wings later on, and actually a really nice set of wings. It just by maintaining second or third, you will get a really nice 1500 set of wings. That's really good BR for its level. So do the events as they do pop up if you can. I'm not here just because I'm making this video, so that should basically be your focus for day 1. You should be able to approach, as a normal player, you should be able to approach 35, give or take a couple levels. No one here seems to be exceptionally, I believe, day 1, if you really push, you can actually hit 37 or 38. So it doesn't appear that anybody on this server has really pushed their level. There are a couple of people who look to be spending quite a little bit. but once again, they're not focusing on what the rewards are. So um, one of them is kind of up here, the other one is not. So yeah, just you really want to make sure you focus on these rewards so you can get these benefits. Make sure your spending is based on where you get the benefits here and here, and always try to double up as much as possible. And I will be back tomorrow to go over day 2. Hopefully that one will be a lot quicker because I will just be going over the day's events and what the focus is for the day. Alright, thanks.